This podcast is supported by Lovehoney.
You know, I am buzzing to talk about a little secret thing from Lovehoney.
Oh, when you say the word buzz.
I know. Cough, cough. That you and your partner can enjoy when you are out and about. If that is something that you think that you would be interested in, stay tuned. We acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which we record this podcast, the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. We pay respect to elders past, present, and emerging.
Fuck parental guidance. This shit is MA 15 plus.
And it's with Maggie and Alex. We've gotten to episode 2.
I feel like we were so raw
Very.
in episode. We'll probably still be raw now, but
Raw and real. Raw and real, baby.
when you on the scene or in the arena, as we've been saying.
In the arena, good old Brene Brown. Brene Brown.
What's that?
The author, Brene Brown.
You've lost me, doll.
That's a whole other episode.
See, I'm not a reader like you.
She
I'm not a.
She does shows. I bet the listeners, they'll know. You know who Brene Brown is. We'll do a poll because I'm right. I will win this. My competitiveness is coming out. I will win.
You've got
this.
an eye twitch.
Yes. And if you don't know who Brene Brown is, say that you do. So I win. Team Maggie. Hashtag Team Maggie. Anyway, how are you doing? How's your week?
I've had a really good week. So I have come out of my really yucky stage of pregnancy. So my emotional and physical symptoms that were not so nice have subsided.
You've got more energy.
I have more energy and my sex life is back.
Oh, hello.
It is back in a big way. I'm horny. I'm hungry. I've had the best week.
You're loving life.
Because I feel like I've woken up and I feel like I'm me again. I just didn't feel like me for the longest time. And I felt like it was never going to end. And I literally feel like I'm back to Alex.
I'm really happy for you.
Yeah. How was your week?
My week was full of thrush for me and hand, foot and mouth disease.
Oh, that's a real joy.
Yeah. So not the same type of week that you had.
So
Not the same.
thrush from antibiotics. What undies are you wearing?
Oh, mate, honestly, I don't know where it came from. I'm working with my GP and my naturopath to figure that out because I did have a year of thrush in like 2016 where I got
an entire year.
Yeah, I would get thrush every maybe 2 to 3 weeks, and that happened for a year.
Could they explain or figure out why?
Well, the GP would just send me back to the GP would send me to the pharmacy.
Yeah.
And just to get the pills. And I was going so often to get the pills that I actually had to then go to different pharmacies. So that was a weird experience. And then I would have to kind of lie and be like, oh, I'm on antibiotics, so I'm just getting thrush medication, when in reality it was just like the 75th time that I'd got it. But
it's like when I had chronic BV. I had that for like 2 years. Horrendous.
oof,
BV is bacterial vaginosis, by the way, and it's not nice.
it's fun being a vulva owner.
1 in 4 women get it too.
I think thrush is like
and women don't
very
even
similar.
know about it.
Yes.
It's something that women actually don't have. They have no idea that it even exists, that it's a thing.
Wow, that's sex ed.
And how is the hand, foot, and mouth going?
Oh, she's
Because
doing...
I feel like your kids are in daycare, mine are not. So I'm like,
We're playing childhood illness bingo. So we've just had to cross off hand, foot and mouth. But it was actually really bad. I didn't realize how bad it was. And I think because so many people or so many kids were getting it, I was like, well, if so many kids were getting it, it can't be that bad. But no, it's bad. And she had really bad ulcers in her mouth and down her throat, so she wasn't eating or drinking, and it was really difficult to give her pain relief. But one of these beautiful women DM'd me and was like, suppositories, Panadol suppositories up the bottom. And I was just like, oh. And we were at the end of hand, foot and mouth when she said that. But I'm like, okay, so that can be, if it comes back around, that can be an option.
how did that go? I've had to give myself a suppository. That was fun.
Like a medicated one?
And medicinal, like Panadol.
All I'm thinking, I feel like it was like in Sex and the City or something, that episode where they were talking about doing drugs and it was like, oh no, you don't take them in your mouth, you can pop them up the bottom.
I've actually witnessed, it's called shelving. I've witnessed people do that. Like in the same room.
I'm just
I was 17 years old and it was like a footy club, footy boys thing. Yeah, they were shelving each other.
Wow.
With illicit substances, yeah.
Wait, so shelving is, I didn't even know, it has a name.
Shelving is when you insert the drug into the anus for a better effect, apparently.
Wow, so at 17, you were watching that. I think I was going to Hillsong, because I had like a Hillsong, moment.
We had very different.
Yeah, Planet Shakers.
What's that?
It was like Hillsong, but you know, you went there and like, Jesus, you are my best friend.
Yeah, that wasn't my line.
No, that wasn't. You were seeing shelves being created.
Shelved. Yeah.
How did we get here? Anyway. When we met and when I did a deep dive on your socials, I realized that you were part of like a girl gang, girl group, girl friendship
I have
group.
a serious girl gang.
Yeah, and you've been part of that for like a really long time.
Yeah, since year 7. I think. Yeah, it was since year 7.
And I had some feelings because I was part of a friendship group when I was about 16. I entered into the friendship group and it was amazing.
So were they already a formed group and then you entered?
No. Oh, there was like 2 girls.
Yeah, okay, right.
And then like I was the third like
Yep.
musketeer. I was going to say mojito, but I feel like
I was gonna say Spice Girl, but
musketeer.
yeah.
And then it kind of grew from there steadily. And then that friendship group I stepped away from when I was like 29. So that's like
I was gonna say, that's
12, 13 years.
Yeah, that's a long.
Yeah. And the thing that struck me was I was jealous.
Mm.
How have you had a friendship group for so long? Because I feel like that's hard.
It hasn't been without like trials and tribulations. Like there's definitely been rifts in the group. There's been times where 2 people haven't gotten along. There's been dramas. There's been interventions. Like I've had an intervention against me.
Oh,
with
wow.
my friends. Yeah, like the choices that I was making. It all comes from a place of love and care. It's never a place of nastiness or jealousy or malice. It always came from a place of love and care, whether it was to do with anyone. But we have all stuck by each other. And I think it comes down to like respect.
Because I feel like that's rare. I feel like female friendships
totally.
for me have given me the biggest heartbreak. Like my heart has been broken by female friendships.
More than intimate
and harder and
relationships.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I always get people say like, how? And like, how have you guys still remained friends for that long without separating off into different?
Because I guess you grow.
Yeah, and we've
change.
definitely grown together. Like there was definitely a period where I was kind of more on the outer. I'd put myself there when I had Elijah because I had him so young, and my friends were still, they were partying in Thailand and they were traveling the world.
How old were you when you had Elijah?
I was pregnant at 18 and I had him at 19.
Okay, so that's like just out of school.
Yeah, it's peak.
They were
peak
like
finding yourself before your 20s.
Yes.
Like it's where you can just go and let your hair loose.
Yeah.
And then figure shit out later.
Davies,
where I was having
Davies
to
on a Saturday night.
But I was
go across
figuring
to
shit out
kittens.
now because
Yeah.
I didn't have that time. Like I had to grow up really quick because I was about to become a mum. So I definitely felt on a different trajectory and a different path to my friends at that time. And then again, interestingly, they started to have kids, and Elijah was like 5, 6, 7 when they started to have kids, and I was then catching up to my party face because I'd missed it. So they were settling down,
And you were like,
and I was like,
what's like the opposite to settling down? Like
I was revving up.
Yeah, there we go.
I
I was like,
was
non-settling? Is that a word?
I was revving up in a big way. Like I was like
Party girl
partying.
Alex.
Yeah, I was on like yachts. I was in the city. I was in mansions. I was like rich dudes. I was wild.
Oh, wow.
I had a bit of a few years of like toxic wild party days.
Was it toxic?
Fucking oath.
Oh, really?
There was lots of.
Do you
toxic
feel like you
stuff
had
in
to
there.
go through it though to get to where you are now?
Absolutely. Yeah, I had to experience all that to be where I am now.
So you
I
went
think.
through like motherhood Alex when they were going through their partying years, and then you went through Rev Up Alex when they were kind of having their motherhood years.
Yeah,
and your
Turbo
still
Alex
friendship.
came out. Yeah.
Turbo Alex, Turbo Alex.
So yeah, so that was my little journey with my friends, but we've all stuck together. And I don't think we've ever broken each other's hearts. Like how you're describing it.
I didn't realize though for a really long time what female friendship was supposed to look like. And it's funny because like my mum would always kind of question. I'm like, Mum, you don't get it. You don't know them. Like, stop it. And now I look back and I'm like, mums have a way of knowing
Oh, they know
good
shit.
friends or like they know.
And sometimes we only see what we want to see.
Oh, yeah. And I think the other thing was I was a very different, like, you know how you just said, you know, you were party girl, Alex. Well, I was fucking bitchy Maggie. Like, I was like, if I thought that you were prettier than me, I wouldn't be friends with you, or I would be trying to, like, bring you down. I was, like, very competitive. You know, it was before I got engaged. When someone else got engaged, I was furious that they got engaged before me, or that maybe they had something on their wedding day that I didn't. Like, it was bad.
Did you like yourself?
No.
Or were you blind to how you were?
What happened was I was so invested in what everyone else was doing and the gossip of what everyone else was doing that it stopped me looking at myself. So I used that a lot. So it was I would be on the phone to someone and they would, you know, one of the girls in the group, and then that phone conversation would end and I'd be on the phone to the next girl saying, oh my gosh, guess what this person said, blah, blah, blah. So I think it wasn't these girls that were toxic. It was that they were bringing out the toxicity in me. And it's that thing of like, you can't get better in the same environment that makes you sick. But I also didn't know I didn't figure out what true friendship was for me until I met some girls that gave me like a different perspective and were actually really happy for me and felt like I could talk about myself without kind of looking at the time.
So when was the realization for you that you're like, this is not serving me positively and it's not helping me be a better person, it's not helping me grow as a person, like this relationship with these girls is no longer serving me?
I think it came about when I had Jagger, and I think that's when you like have this big like moment of like, they are going to figure out, your kids are going to figure out who you are one day.
Yeah,
and like,
scary.
Yeah. And it's like, who do you want that person to be? So I did a lot of like, you know, work on myself. And then I had a conversation with someone where I was talking so negatively about this friendship group. I was like, this girl's this and this girl does this. And she looked at me and she goes, if you can say that about your best friends, what does that say about you?
And then how did you take that?
Well, defensively, firstly, I was like, bitch, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Like, I'm fine. See, look at me. I'm fine. I said I'm fine.
As your eyes twitching.
And then inside I'm like, oh. And then I started doing the inner work, and there was some drama that happened where I was accused of something. And I think there's things that you can say to people like, oh, you're a bitch, and you can take that back. But when someone's accusing you of something that is such a core value of who you are, and you shared something or a memory with them and they're accusing you of being a completely different person, there's a line. And I am one of those people like where if you hurt me, I will forgive you. I make it better. If you hurt someone I love, I will hate you until my dying breath and do I will foster.
I will come for you.
Yeah, that that toxicity, I will foster every day.
I will fester.
Yes, but there was just a line that was crossed, and I thought I would be doing a disservice to myself if I continued here. And then I pretty much got told, if you leave this friendship group now, you won't be welcomed back. And
wow.
it was almost like, yes, it was hard to hear, but it was kind of good to hear, because it's like when someone makes themselves, when you see someone and they're telling you who they are, and it makes it easier to walk away. So I did.
So how did you feel? Did you grieve a loss?
Oh.
Like, did you grieve the loss of this friendship, or did you instantly feel like lighter straight away? Did you like never look back? Or did you go through this grieving process of loss?
I think I'm still grieving, because I have there's such good memories. Such good memories. And it wasn't all bad.
It wasn't all bad, yeah.
And it was mostly the bad was me. Like, I take full responsibility. I'm not here saying it's them. No, it's all me. It was all me. But trying to step out of a friendship group when you grew up watching Sex and the City and all these shows that are telling you if you don't have a best friend and a friendship group as a female,
there's something wrong with you.
Yeah, who are you?
Yeah.
But I think people stay in friendships for a really long time because it's oh, I owe it to that person, or that's just how they are.
Well, it's been this long, so
yeah,
I may as well stick it out.
Exactly, but I think you're doing yourself a disservice, because it was only when I was able to step away that it was like the universe put people in my life that I was ready to be friends with.
So what would you say to someone that is listening if they feel like they're in a similar situation and they actually don't know how to leave this friendship group? They don't know how to part with it. They're scared. They're nervous, because it's a big thing.
It is such a big thing.
Stepping away from all you know.
Yeah.
And going down a path of something that's foreign and trying to recreate. Recreating friendships when you're older is hard.
Meeting people is hard.
Meeting people is hard. It gets harder because
So hard.
I feel like we trust less. We're more uncomfortable to put ourselves out there than when we're teenagers.
Mm. And you have school events and things to meet people. Whereas I think when you have a baby, 99% of the time, I was staying at home. So I was
so what,
where am I gonna
what
meet people?
advice would you give to someone that's in this situation and is I know that this is not good for me and I know I need to get out of it, but I just don't know how?
I would say this. If you're listening and you're going, oh gosh, I have a friend like that, then inside you know. Life is really short. And yes, it's scary to kind of step away and not know what that looks like. But I'm telling you now, I think it would be scarier staying, because you're doing yourself a disservice. And if you have children, you're role modeling what female friendships look like to your kids.
Absolutely.
And I think, yes, for a time, I felt like I had no friends. I didn't have anyone that I could be oh, let's go do this on a Saturday. But when you kind of step out of the drama and just start working on yourself for a bit and you get rid of the shit, you're actually making room for other things to come into your life.
You're probably opening yourself up more
Absolutely.
to positive things.
Absolutely.
Entering.
And one of my best friends I met on Instagram, at an Instagram event. And she's someone that I look at. She's a little bit younger. She's stunning. Yasmina, if you're listening, you know it's you. And she's someone that if I hadn't have done the work on myself, I would have never
been friends with her.
Never, because I was you're you're
and that would have been
this
sad
and
for
you're
you
that.
because you miss out on this beautiful friendship with this person, and it's all because of how she looks, and that threatens you.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And I had to do the work on me in order to get the friends that I now know I deserve. I couldn't have these friendships now without working on myself. And you just have to take responsibility for your own shit. Yes, in friendships, there might be someone that is bringing the drama into your life, but you have to take responsibility for the fact that you're allowing that drama in your life.
Yeah, if you allow it to enter it.
Yeah.
Then that's on you.
So I think the biggest takeaway is take responsibility for what you can take responsibility for. And if you want things to change, things have to change because things won't change if you don't change.
Toofed.
But it's hard. I think it's a bit of tough love. But was there tears? Was I absolutely heartbroken? Like 100%.
So
Still am.
That's your biggest heartbreak.
Yeah. And I'll sometimes I find myself doing a little cheeky stalk of
Oh
of
my
what's
God. So
happening.
what people would do with their
Oh
ex-boyfriends.
yeah, I do it with friends.
You do it with friends.
I do it with friends. And there's always just this stab. I do it to myself.
You need to stop doing that.
Yeah, I know. But I miss the good. But I don't know if my heart will ever look the same as it did. Because that
Was pain.
that was pain.
I can hear it. You're going to make me cry.
That was pain.
Okay, we're crying for the first time and it's only episode 2.
Brad and I tried something that was on my bucket list for a very long time.
Everyone should have a sex bucket list, by the way.
Absolutely. And
Tick those bad boys off.
we ticked this one off in a really big way. It's lingerie play and it's it's a wee vibe and it is the Moxie. So it is like a clitoral stimulator that you put in your lingerie.
So
and then-
sits in your undies.
Absolutely.
On your clitoris.
Yes, because I'm a big clit lover.
I think
I really am.
we all are.
Yeah. And so Brad had the remote, but you can also use the app, a free app. So if your partner is long distance, you can use that too. But we were at the dinner table.
At home?
No, out.
you were
We were
out.
out. And it was
At a restaurant?
Yeah, but I made sure it was a busy restaurant so that no one could hear it. It's actually quite silent anyway, but my anxiety, I was like, people are going to know. Just babe, no one's going to know.
People are going to know while you're at the table
No.
going, the pasta's really good.
But it was incredible. It was something that only him and I knew about. We were
love
in public, which we don't really do. Brad's the kind of person that's I kiss him in public and he's like, that's enough. Where this, he was all into, I was all into.
Because I feel like public fantasies are a big thing.
This upped that. This absolutely upped it to a point that when we got home, it was on I want to say Donkey Kong. You know what I'm saying?
It was on Moxie Kong.
Oh, it was. Absolutely. If you are looking to level up, this is it. It was life-changing.
It's like that.
I don't want to say life-changing,
but it's like that line, I'll have what she's having.
Oh! And trust me, a lot of people will want to have what I had. Recommendation of the week.
I have a nice one this week.
I have a nice one too.
Yeah, mine's not naughty. Wait, did you have a naughty one or a nice one last week?
Naughty.
Mine was naughty too, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yes, it was. Oh, it was the dick sleeve. This week, my recommendation is putting your cheesels in the freezer.
I don't know if I can classify that as a recommendation.
Do you like cheesels?
I mean, yeah, but what?
They need to go in the freezer. It is.
Does it say that on the bag or have you just made that up?
No, I've done that ever since I was a child.
Where did you get this from?
Our cheesels were always in the freezer.
What?
And every time I say this to someone, I get the same reaction, but I'm always met with, you are right.
Well, right now you're met with resistance and I will give
Which
it a go.
is fine, but you need to try it because it is unreal banana skin.
Banana skin. Well,
it is so good.
My recommendation is also nice. I'm on the nice list. It is, and my sister actually told me about this. You know how when you wash your hair, you shampoo, and then you rinse. And then if you have a lot of product in your hair, you shampoo again and then you rinse. But when you condition, just condition the last maybe inch
I've
of
always done that.
We'll just go with your recommendation then, shall we? No, that's fine. We'll just end it here. Goodbye, everybody.
Thank you so much. A greasy scalp.
Well, I didn't know that. When did you know that?
Forever, but I feel like you're behind the times with the beauty stuff. You've had the same makeup for 8 years, so.
I mean, I did.
And they're out of date.
Well, I that's harsh, but true. So that's fine. But yeah, no. Well, my recommendation for people that are Team Maggie, just condition the last inch of your roots.
Yeah, so you don't get a greasy scalp.
No, and it actually it means that you can have unwashed hair
for a longer
longer
period
time.
of time.
And also, it doesn't take that long to wash out because you know how sometimes conditioner just like stays in your hair and
How
you're
often do you wash your hair? Do you not want to disclose that? You are so reluctant to like.
Okay, if I have a shoot or I know I'm recording,
Yes.
I wash it the night before.
Yes, same.
However, that is few and far between. So I would say I'm probably a 10 to 6, 14. We'll go 14. 10 to 14 days.
So once every 10 to 14 days.
Yeah, it's
That's good.
literally like if this is what I do. If my hair, my head isn't itchy, it's not time to wash it yet.
Why would it be itchy?
Because when it gets really dirty, it gets really itchy, and that's when I'm like, it's time.
Itchy?
Yeah, does your hair? What do you do then?
Once a week.
Oh, well, I'm sorry, I'm behind the
But
times in beauty.
But I don't get itchy.
Because you're washing it once a week.
Yeah, because you're a grub and you've got a build up of like scalp flakes because you wash it every
You know
2
what?
weeks.
Some of us don't have time to just sit down in the shower and piss ourselves like you do and wash our hair.
Don't. I love it when you're in the shower. Do not diss it until you try it.
Anyway, my recommendation, I'm sure there's a lot of people that don't know that, and then I've just enriched your lives. I've even forgotten what your recommendation was.
I'm sure you have, babe. I'm sure you have.
When Carson was driving off this morning, he tooted goodbye. I thought that was really cute.
That's what he does. And he even does it at his client's place. So like as he leaves his clients after he's like done a quote or whatever, he will toot.
I want to be a client. I want to toot.
That's his final goodbye.
Toot, toot. Actually, that makes me think, do you think being tooted at, whistled at is hot?
Like a wolf whistle.
Yeah, is it hot or toxic?
I think
I mean, when Carson does it, it's hot.
when Carson doesn't, it's hot out. But I think my teenage self, even my early 20s self, would think it's hot.
I would froth it.
I would be like, that is like stroking my ego.
Who's that girl?
Yes.
It's me, bitch.
Yes, that's literally what I would be. And I would be flattered by it.
Yeah, same.
Now, as a 31-year-old woman, and now that I have been able to kind of understand and unpack the male gaze,
Yeah.
I would not like it.
The more we learn, the more we know. I'm the
Correct.
same. I think.
Because fuck the male gaze.
Mm,
That's my whole thing. Like, like with the whole wolf whistling thing, like now at the age of 31, or like,
But would there be this part of you that's like, still got it?
I am concerned about that. I have to be honest, and I think there'll be like there's this little demon
Yeah.
inside me that's deep
The
suppressed.
pick me. I'm
down.
like, I'm a feminist, but
wolf whistle me.
yeah, but don't ever do that. But if you do, it. Oh.
You're too scared to say what you want to say.
I know. Okay.
You're holding back.
All right, I am. But because, hey, I'm going to preface this with saying I know what I'm about to say is bad, okay? So please, like, I know, but I'm being honest because I'm working on it, something that I need to get rid of. But if I think that the wolf whistler,
Yeah.
because I'm the wolf whistler-y.
Yes.
Yeah, so the person doing the wolf whistling, if I find them attractive,
Yeah, I get it.
like it kind of makes it okay. But if I don't, or then I'm like, stop! What are you doing? And then I'm a feminist. But then if I think they're attractive, I'm like, I have to go
You
searching.
can't pick and choose,
I know I have to go searching for
babe.
where the feminist. So it's something I'm working on. Oh, that internalized misogyny and like pick me. But that's a big like.
Well,
when
pick me being a pick me gal is a big thing, and
Mm.
internalized misogyny is a big thing. But I think teenage me would absolutely love it. But I do think now I'm just so like, I'm like fuck the male gaze, but also stroke my ego.
Yeah, so I'm gonna
It's
put
hard,
I'm
it's
gonna
really
put it in
hard.
the toxic basket because even me liking
Well, this
it.
is us being toxic.
Yeah. Even me liking it a little bit.
That's us.
That's my own toxicity.
And we need to work on that.
Yeah, we definitely do. So much to work on.
Forever growing.
warned. But thanks for listening to MA15 Plus.
Now you can send your burning questions to hello@ma15plus.au.
We want to hear from you, so please subscribe and leave a review wherever you listen to this podcast.
Maggie, did you know the longest relationship I have ever had is actually with Lovehoney?
I mean, no, but it makes sense to me.
Now, if you want to check out our spicy recommendations, please go to the show notes.
Yes, or any products that we have recommended, they will be at lovehoney.com.au/MA15PLUS. You can thank us later because you will be buzzing, you will be wet, it will be wild.
You'll just be a very, very, very happy person.
And happiness is what we're about.
And maybe you'll find a long-term relationship like me.